Everyone. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon, everyone. Please give me confirmation my audio and video is clear so that we can proceed with today's session. Hi, all of you. Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon. Good afternoon, Anjali. All clear now? Audio, video, both? Okay. So, very warm welcome to another session of Agri 360-degree series, cracking major, minor, and PYQs. And today our hot topic is rice cultivation. Okay, paddy, rice. One of the most important topic from, like, if you're preparing for any exam, whether it is a JRF exam or any other MSc exam, A4 exam, means banking exams, doesn't matter. This crop, this paddy crop is important for each and every crop, for each and every crop. Sorry, this paddy is important for, this paddy crop is important for each and every exam. Okay, so now let's start with the very first concept part. Introduction. See, introduction part of each and every crop, introduction part of each and every crop is definitely very important. What is the scientific name of your paddy? Oryza sativa. It was asked in for 2021. Family is Poaceae. Chromosome number is 21. Rice stem is known as culm, and inflorescence is known as panicle. Fruit type is known as Caryopsis. Origin is Southeast Asia. It is a C3 short day plant. At the time of harvesting, now see, this part is important, very important. At the time of harvesting, what should be the moisture percentage? At the time of harvesting, the moisture percentage should be around 20 to 26%. Before threshing, around 23%. Storage time, at the time of storage, it should be around 12 to 14%. Very important. Rice is a self-pollinated crop. Test weight should be 25 gram. And specifically, if I asked for Basmati rice, for Basmati rice, the test weight is around 21 gram. Now, next, protein. White rice. For the white rice, protein content is 6 to 7%. For the brown rice, it is 7 to 9%. Germination. At the time of germination, or basically, what is the germination type? Hypogel. Main protein is known as origin, and the hulling percentage is 66%. Carbohydrate around 70%. Now, you must have eaten Basmati rice. Now, the Basmati rice, or the rice like jasmine rice, has a very good fragrance, aroma. Which compound is responsible? Tell me. Which compound is responsible behind the aroma and the fragrance of particularly your Basmati rice, jasmine rice? The correct answer here is 2-AP. Okay. Which compound is responsible? 2-AP is responsible, which is known as 2-acetyl-1-pyrroline. The name of compound is 2-acetyl-1-pyrroline, that is 2-AP. Aroma and flavor compound present in Basmati rice. It was asked in A4 exam. Now, it gives a popcorn-like and a pandan-like fragrance, and it is controlled by which gene? Basically, the compound is 2-AP. But which gene is responsible behind this aroma, behind the formulation of 2-AP? The answer is BADH2 gene. Okay, the answer is BADH2 gene, betaine aldehyde dehydrogenase 2. Okay, the correct answer is betaine aldehyde dehydrogenase 2. And when mutation happens in BADH2 gene, when mutation, what is mutation? Sudden heritable change is known as mutation. When mutation happens in BADH2 gene, the 2-AP accumulates, and then it impacts or imparts basically a very beautiful aroma, pandan-like, vanilla-like fragrance in your specifically Basmati rice. Okay. Then the next point, what is hulling? Basically, that is 66%. Hulling refers to the process by which we remove the outer husk from the rice grain. Such process is known as hulling. And what is the byproduct in the process of hulling? Husk. That outer covering is known as husk. Processing of paddy. See, very important topic. Whenever we talk about paddy, processing part is very crucial. Now, it's very necessary to first of all learn these key points about the paddy grain. The outermost layer is the rice husk. The outermost layer of the paddy grain is the rice husk. Then if I remove this rice husk layer, the second I have is the rice bran. The second layer I have is the rice bran, which is made up of the two layers, aileron layer and the pericap layer, aileron and the belly cap. The third is the white rice, which is around 70%, and the rice germ is around the 2%. Okay, so these are the major compositions of your paddy grain. Now, accordingly, what is the processing of paddy? Now, you all tell me, we all eat paddy or rice? Give answer for this. We eat paddy or rice? Come on. Rice, na? Definitely. We eat rice. We don't eat paddy. So, what is the processing of paddy? Processing of paddy, that process by which we are simply converting paddy into rice. Okay, the process by which we are simply converting paddy into rice is known as processing of paddy. That's the simplest meaning. And this processing part includes various of steps: cleaning, parboiling, okay, hulling, milling, polishing. These are the various steps that are part of processing of paddy. The objective is to remove the husk and the bran layers from paddy rice to produce whole white rice kernels that are sufficiently melt free of impurities and contain a minimum number of broken kernels. Yes, definitely, that one of the main objective behind the processing of paddy is the kernel. The kernels should not be broken. The kernels broken are not suitable, are not good for the commercial purpose. So definitely, while processing of paddy, the kernel size should be properly maintained. Now, let's talk about this with the help of the flow chart. See, the very first, this is the rice paddy. The harvested rice paddy is sent for the cleaning purpose. What is the meaning of the pre-cleaning? Pre-cleaning means any kind of foreign material. If any kind of foreign material is present in the harvested paddy, you have to remove it. You have to clean it. Followed by the destoning, means if any stone, pebbles is present in the paddy, then clean it as well. So the very first step is overall cleaning step, which includes the removing of the foreign particles, any stone, pebble or whatsoever present. Now that clean paddy is further sent for the parboiling process. Now when I talk about the parboiling process, do you know what's the exactly meaning? Parboiling process is a hydrothermal treatment. It is a hydrothermal treatment. Why? Because we are using the temperature and water both at the same time. Okay, in parboiling, we are using temperature and water at the same time for the purpose of parboiling. Hydro represents the water, whereas thermo represents the temperature. True, na? So, what is the purpose of your parboiling? See, overall, parboiling gives strength to the grain. What is the purpose of the parboiling? Parboiling gives strength to the grain. It forms a very gelatinous-like amorphous layer around the grain. As a result, it is protected from attack of pest, storage pest. Since we are giving a more strength to the grain, so the chances of being broken is very less when we will be sending it for the milling purpose. So the very first purpose or advantage of the parboiling is definitely it gives strength to the grain. Second is the conservation of nutrients. See, the majority of the nutrients is present in the husk or the bran layers. And when we are like directly sending the grains for the milling purpose without parboiling, then what will happen? Definitely the minerals which are present in the husk layer and the bran layers will be removed. Since layer will be removed, the minerals will be removed too. So by the process of parboiling, we are conserving the vitamins, the nutrients as well, specifically vitamin B12. And the parboiling specifically includes the soaking of the grains. Cooking means steaming. It means steaming. And then the drying. And then the parboiled rice paddy is ready for the further process. Then dehusking. What is the meaning of dehusking? It is nothing different. It is just hulling. What is hulling? That is 66% in case of paddy. Okay. So in this process, the hulling or dehusking process, we are completely removing the husk from the grain. Now we are completely removing the husk from the grain. Then after this hulling process, what we get? We get brown rice. Okay. After hulling process, we get the brown rice. Now, this brown rice is further sent for the milling purpose. Okay, this brown rice is further sent for the milling purpose. What happens in the milling? Removal of bran layers. Okay, removal of bran layers. Removal of the bran layers. In milling process, the bran layers, that is aileron and the pericap layer. The aileron and the pericap layer is removed in the process of milling. And further from the milling process, finally we get the white rice. Okay, finally we get the white rice. Then what happens? Separation. What is this step? See, if in case the white rice is still contains any kind of a brown rice or a rice has a covering of husk, so what happens? We separate it, and then again those paddy grains are sent again for that process of parboiling, milling and all. Okay, then the white rice is sent for the whitening. What is the meaning of whitening here? Polishing. What is whitening? Whitening is nothing different. It means the polishing. It is sent for the polishing purpose. Then comes the color sorting. Color sorting means if in case any grain has a different color apart from white, blue, red, pink or any other shade, so you have to completely separate it. And then the white grains are graded on the basis of the length, packed and then dispatched for the commercial purpose. This complete process is known as processing of paddy. This complete process is known as processing of paddy. I suppose you all are able to understand. Similarly, here's the definition part. Okay, now see, parboiling, it was asked in AFO 2023 exam. Parboiling is a pre-milling process that involves soaking, steaming and drying paddy rice before milling. And this crystalline form of starch is changed into an amorphous form, which forms a protective shield. This amorphous form is only acting as a protective shield for the grain. This process helps retain more nutrients and make the rice less brittle. And then let's talk about the climatic requirements. What are the climatic requirements of the paddy? It is best suited to regions which have the high humidity, prolonged sunshine and an assured supply of water. Rice crop needs a lot of hot and humid climate. What is the requirement of the paddy? Hot and humid climate. Average temperature is around 21 to 37 degrees Celsius. Maximum is 36 to 38 degrees Celsius. At the time of ripening, it's 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. And for the blooming, it's 26.5 to 29.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so these are the different temperature requirements of the paddy at different stages and the average one. Next, if I talk about the soil, then definitely paddy loves water a lot. The paddy loves water a lot. So definitely the soil should have the good water holding capacity. The good water holding capacity is very essential for the paddy cultivation. Clay or the clay loams are the most suitable one for the rice cultivation. And rice is a semi-aquatic crop. So it grows well under submerged conditions, and the atmospheric oxygen is transported by Aerenchyma tissues of the leaves. Important part. Remember this, that how paddy plants are able to get the optimum amount of oxygen when they are being grown in the submerged condition. The correct answer is there, Aerenchyma tissues. Okay, because of the Aerenchyma tissues, plants are able to absorb the optimum oxygen. Rice plant prefers acidic soils. So acidic soils are preferred which have a pH range between 5 to 6.5. The pH range between 5 to 6.5. Next is the nutrient management. Now let's talk about the nutrient management part. FIM, the farmyard manure, is around 250 to 300 quintal per hectare. Then the next we have is the nitrogen. So what is the nitrogen requirement? Around 100 kg per hectare. Next we have the phosphorus, around 60 kg, and potassium again around 50 to 60 kg. Now the nitrogen use efficiency in case of paddy is very poor. The nitrogen use efficiency is only 30 to 40%. Why? Because a lot of nitrogen is lost by different means from the field of paddy, like volatilization, leaching, denitrification. These are the major reasons behind the loss of nitrogen from the field of paddy. Then silicon is regarded as essential nutrient in the rice production. Biofertilizers. So what are the optimum biofertilizers for your paddy? BGA, that is blue green algae, azolla and azospirillum. Okay, so see, it was also asked in one of the exams of Bihar. Then Use of nitrate fertilizer in paddy fields should be avoided due to more susceptibility to loss of nitrogen through leaching and denitrification. As I told you that there are high chances of the loss of nitrogen generally by the means of denitrification and your leaching. So definitely the use of nitrogenous fertilizer in the form of nitrate fertilizers must be avoided. Then, nitrogen loss in rice field occurs due to denitrification, volatilization and leaching. What is the meaning of leaching? Leaching is the process by which the water-soluble plant nutrients, okay, like nitrogen, specifically when it is in the form of nitrate and ammonia and phosphorus as well, are washed down quickly by excess of irrigation and rainfall. This is known as your leaching. The next we have is the denitrification, the conversion of nitrate into nitrogen gas by bacteria in anaerobic condition, means that oxygen poor soils, is known as your denitrification. Okay, and the third we have volatilization. Volatilization is the conversion of ammonium into ammonia gas. When ammonium converts into ammonia gas and it is released into the atmosphere, means the soil, the plant is not able to properly utilize it. This is known as a volatilization. Now, puddle soil. We all know that now in case of paddy, we go for puddling. True na? In case of paddy, we go for puddling. What is puddling basically? Puddling is a kind of a tillage operation which is done in case of paddy in standing water, okay, for preparing a suitable seed bed and for reducing the loss of water by means of percolation. So after puddling, we get the puddle soil. After puddling, we get the puddle soil. And that puddle soil is divided into two zones, the upper zone and the reduced layer. Okay, that puddle soil is divided into two layers, the upper zone and the reduced layer. Upper zone, a thin surface layer which contains oxygen, is called oxidized zone. Okay, this particular upper zone contains oxygen which is known as the oxidized zone. Reduced layer, which is immediately below the oxidized layer. It is immediately below the oxidized layer, which contains no oxygen. Okay, it does not contain any oxygen. Okay, so this is known as the reduced zone. So we have two zones, upper zone and the reduced zone. In lowlands, the deep placement of ammonical form of nitrogenous fertilizers in the reduced zone has proven being beneficial, efficient method of nitrogen application as compared to the other methods. Okay. Then irrigation. See, the critical stage of irrigation in the paddy is your panicle initiation. Now, the total water requirement is around 1100 to 1250 millimeter. Then average water requirement in case of SRI method. What is SRI? System of rice intensification. I will be teaching this as well. But for now, remember, by means of SRI method, what is the amount of water used? That is 700 millimeter. And then the rice consumes around 5,000 liters of water to produce the 1 kg rice grain. And daily water requirement of the paddy is around 6 to 10 millimeter. Remember this, the daily water requirement of the paddy is around 6 to 10 millimeter. Then, stage-wise requirement for the paddy. At the nursery stage, the water requirement is 40 millimeter, that is around 3.22% of the total water requirement. Then for the main field preparation, around 200, the main field preparation like puddling. Okay, puddling. What is this? Here it is talking about puddling, and if we have to consider a range for that, you can consider 200 to 300 millimeter as well. You can consider 200 to 300 millimeter as well. Then planting to panicle initiation 458 around millimeters, panicle initiation to flowering 417, flowering to maturity 125 millimeter. Okay, so these are the different water requirements of paddy at different stages. Now, the important varieties. Yes, what are the important varieties of the paddy? The very first, and yes, varieties of paddy are very important for each and every exam. The first high yielding dwarf variety is IR8. Okay, the first high yielding dwarf variety is IR8, which is a cross between DG Wujin and Peta by IRRI in 1966, and this particularly IR8 is only known as the miracle rice. It is known as the miracle rice. It was asked in Jaya of Agronomy 2017 exam. Then miracle rice of India is Jaya. Okay, the miracle rice of India is Jaya, which is a cross between TN1 and TN141 by Dr. Shastri in 1968. Then the first dark variety of the world. The first dark variety of the world is TN1, Taichung Native 1, developed in Taiwan in 1965. Mutant variety is Jagannath, mutant from TN141. The first hybrid of India is MGR1. Earlier it was known as CORH1, again developed by TNAU. First high yielding variety of Basmati rice in India is the Pusa Basmati 1 by IRI. Then the first super fine grain aromatic hybrid of Basmati world, PRH10. The Pusa rice hybrid 10 by IARI. Now let's talk about the SRI. Important and basically from SRI, part system of rice intensification, many question is being asked from different exams. So what's the concept of SRI? It was asked in CCI 2024, Bihar Agronomy exam as well, BO exam basically 2024. So first of all, this system of rice intensification, it was invented in 1980s by Father Henrio Lolani. It was invented by Father Henrio Lolani in Madagascar. Remember this. Now, what is the funda or the concept behind the SRI method? See, if I tell you about the conventional method of farming, what happens in the conventional method of farming? Tell me, we are using a lot of water now. In case of conventional farming, we are using a lot of water. We are maintaining a high population. But SRI method says that by maintaining the less population, but with the optimum geometry, definitely we can get good yield. And when we are reducing the population of the plants, definitely we are reducing the usage of water too. Now, by reducing the population of the plant, we are reducing the water usage too. So that's the core concept of SRI. Okay, that's the core concept of SRI, which says that if we are growing paddy in the square plant geometry method, if we are maintaining the square geometry in which the row to row and plant to plant distance is same, in which the row to row and plant to plant distance is same, exactly like the sides of the square. Such kind of system is known as the SRI system of rice intensification. Why? Because when we are growing plant by this method, square geometry method, each and individual plants get the better resources, whether it is a light, wind, water, nutrient or any other resource. If we are growing in a square pattern, in a square geometry, then each and every individual plant is able to utilize the resources in a better way. As a result, we get good number of tillers and hence resulting in a better grain development and better yield. Okay, so this concept is known as SRI, system of rice intensification. It is a technique of paddy cultivation through which particularly good production of paddy is possible even with very little use of water. SRI method saves around 20 to 25% of water over conventional methods. Seedlings are ready for planting within 10 to 12 days. And then in India, around 7 to tons per hectare production takes place. And in India, SRI method was started in TNAU, okay, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. Now see, in normal method, in conventional method, we maintain a spacing of around 20 by 10. But in case of SRI, we maintain 25 by 25 centimeter. Number of plants per square meter for conventional is 66, for SRI it's 16. And then number of seedlings per hill, in conventional we generally grow 2 to 3 together. But in case of SRI, 1 at a place. In case of SRI, 1 at a place. Now let's talk about the Depog method. Okay, Depog method of nursery. Now what's the catch here? It is known as the soilless method. Okay, it is known as the soilless method. It is also known as mat nursery. It is also known as upland nursery. These are the synonyms which are used for the Depog method. It is also a very good method. What is the meaning of mat? Do you know doormat? I suppose you all are familiar with it. Doormat, see, it looks similar to the doormat. We can roll doormat as well, and we are able to roll this nursery too. So what's the catch in the Depog method of paddy cultivation? See, and it is known as a soilless method too. So why? See, when we are sowing the seeds or when we are raising the nursery, there is no direct contact between soil and the grains, between the soil and the seeds. Basically, there is no directly contact between the soil and the seeds. So what we use in Depog method, we use a mixture. In Depog method, we use a mixture in which we are taking the soil, we take the husk in the basically powder form, we add manures, we make a mixture of it. Then you have to use the plain surface, and that plain surface could be banana leaf, polythene sheets, or cemented floor as well. But yes, banana leaves are good to go. So in the base, you will be just keeping the banana leaves. Upon that, you will be applying the mixture that contains the organic material, soil, as well as the husk in the powder in the granular form generally. So you have to apply that paste, apply that mixture on the banana leaf. Then you have to use the pre-soaked seeds and just sprinkle it. This kind of method is known as the Depog method. Okay, this kind of method is known as Depog method. And what is the advantage? The nursery is ready in 11 to 14 days. In India, it was introduced from Philippines. It is also called an upland nursery. In mat nursery, seedlings are established in a layer of soil mix arranged on a firm surface, banana leaf, polythene sheet, seedling trays. Seedlings are ready for planting within 11 to 14 days. So it is ready within 11 to 14 days. Rate for nursery sprouted seeds at the rate 1.5 to 2 kg per meter square. And nursery area around 25 to 30 meters square. Okay, around 25 to 30 meters square of the nursery area is good enough for 1 hectare. Then very important, the seed rate part is also important. See here, broadcasting. By broadcasting method, 100 kg per hectare. Okay, 100 kg per hectare. By drilling method, around 60 kg per hectare. For the hybrid rice, 15 kg is good enough. For the Depog method, according to the kg meter square, it's 1.5 to 2, and like kg hectare, it's 60 to 75 kg per hectare. SRI system, around 5 to 6 kg per hectare. Then spacing. For the transplanting, it's like spacing is 20 to 10, and for the SRI method, it's 25 by 25 centimeter. The transplanting of rice means in how many days the nursery is ready for transplanting. In case of Kharif season, it's 21 to 25. For the Rabi season, 30 to 35. By SRI method, it's 10 to 12. And around Depog method, it's 11 to 14. It was asked in our RBSO 2023 exam. Now, area requirement for transplanting 1 hectare in meter square. Conventional method 1000 meters square, SRI method 100 meters square, and Depog or mat type method, it's around 25 to 30 meter square. Now, let's talk about some of the exam based facts. Very important. See, hybrid rice. Hybrid rice for commercial production was first evolved in China. Okay, it was first evolved in China. Then India is the second country in the world to develop hybrids of rice after China. Who is the father of hybrid rice? Yuan Longping. Golden rice is a genetically modified and is rich in vitamin A, containing beta carotene, which was developed by IRRI and its national research partners, asked in AFO 2022. Then the SRI was developed by Henry de Lonani. It was asked in BO Agronomy 2024. Next, plowing and kneading soil off in the standing water before paddy transplanting is called as paddy. It was asked in AFO 2025, NABARD 2023, that I've already explained you that what is puddling. By the Depog method, nursery is ready for transplanting in 11 to 14 days, RRBSO 2023. Indirect seeded rice, high weed infestation is a challenge requiring effective weed management. It was asked in CCI 2024. Let me explain this point. See. There is a method of paddy cultivation which is known as direct seeded rice. In direct seeded rice, we are not maintaining any kind of nursery. We are not doing transplanting. We are not doing puddling operations. Now, we are directly sowing the seeds in the field. And alternate wet and dry method is generally used for giving them irrigation. The purpose for this direct seeded DSR method is to save the water. The conventional method utilizes a lot of water when we raise nursery, when we do field preparations like puddling. So if we are completely avoiding such kind of methods, then definitely we are saving the water. So that's the purpose behind the direct seeded rice. And emission of methane gas from the conventional method from the transplanted paddy is definitely huge. But if I talk about the DSR method, then the methane gas is not emitted that much from the paddy field. So these are the perks, these are the advantages of DSR method. But what is the major disadvantage of the DSR method is the weed infestation. In case of weed infestation, sorry, in case of the direct seeded rice, the weed infestation is very high, very high. As a result, there is reduction in the yield and farmer has to face a lot of trouble too. Next, AQT disease in rice is due to the toxicity of H2S, hydrogen sulfide, asked in AFO 2022. Done. Now, let's practice some of the PYQs. Okay, the very fast question. Give answer for this. Everyone, give answer for this. What will be the answer? Okay, good. Option number A, puddling. Next. The average per day water requirement for rice is about Jaya Horticulture 2025. Yes, good. It will be option number 310 millimeter. Okay. Next, from CCI 2024. Tell me. Okay, good. Option number C. Here the correct answer is option number C. Next. Give answer for this. What will be the answer? Yes, option number B, China. Next. And then let me share the PDF with you all as well of the present session. Just a second. Okay. What will be the answer? Therefore, 2022. Okay, so basically, I will be sharing the PDF in the comment section. I will be sharing it in the comment section. Option number A, vitamin A. Absolutely correct. Give answer for this. What will be the answer? Everyone, the rice variety containing DG bugene is? Okay, IR 8. Fine. Next question. Yes, option number A, Henry D. Laurent. Good. Next. AFO 2002, 2425 exam. Drum culture technique. It was used for paddy. Okay, option number B, rice. This method is used for estimation of evapotranspiration. Okay, evaporation, transpiration, percolation, then your effective and ineffective rainfall. Okay, so basically it is used for measuring evaporation, evapotranspiration, percolation, and for measuring effective and ineffective rainfall from the field of paddy. Next, give answer for this. What will be the answer? Okay, option number C, rice. Absolutely correct. Then, Azolla biofertilizer is mainly used in like the session as well, guys. It will be option number B, rice. Okay. Thank you so much. This was all for today's session. Here we wrap up. Okay, I will be sharing the PDF in the comment section and you can download it from there. Ending the session. Bye everyone. Take care. Okay. And like from tomorrow, we will be starting with the new subject, that is your soil science. So soil science ma'am will be taking the classes. So I hope you all like the sessions. Continue it with a regularity and a discipline for grasping the subjects in a better way. Ending the class by everyone, but I will be meeting you all soon with another subject, or will be continuing the crops part as well. Okay, bye everyone, take care. Ending the class.